We will now convene the October 6th meeting, October 6, 2022 meeting of the Yarmouth Conservation Commission. As required by General Laws, Chapter 30A, Sections 18 through 25, and pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, an act relative extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, the public are able to attend this meeting either in person or via the alternative public access. Members of the public may watch the meeting live on Channel 18 or watch and/or participate in the meeting hosted in Zoom. The meeting notice provides necessary instructions to join the meeting via Zoom. Please note that audio, video, and screen sharing functions will be disabled for all attendees. You may request to participate by using the raise hand function. I don't think we have anybody remote, but I will take a roll call. Ed Hoops is present. Tom Durkin,
Yep.
Patricia Mulhern,
Here.
Ellie Lawrence,
Present.
Rick Bishop is absent, Paul Huggins, and David Bernstein.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum, so with that present, I will now call the meeting to order. Again, this is the Yarmouth Conservation Commission meeting for Thursday, October 6, 2022. Our first order of business is an open space and recreation plan update and seeking a Conservation Commission member to be on the ad hoc committee for this year's revisions. Hello,
Hello.
Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy Williams, Town Planner. I'm just here to give you a bit of an update on the progress we've made on updating the Yarmouth Open Space and Recreation Plan. Back in May, we came before you and got permission to have staff put together an ad hoc committee for the update, and you also authorized the expenditure up to $35,000 from the Conservation Fund to hire a consultant. So we worked furiously and we were able to come up with 4 volunteers, one from the Recreation Commission, one from the Disability Commission, one from the Open Space Committee, and one from the Planning Board. So we are looking for a Conservation Commission volunteer this evening to serve on that ad hoc committee. We also went out for requests for cost proposals for consulting services, and we received an excellent proposal from Weston and Sampson for $30,000, and they're have extensive experience in open space and rec plans as well as master plans, and we're working towards executing a contract with them in the near future, and we're hoping to have a kickoff meeting with the ad hoc committee and various town staff at the end of October, looking at maybe October 27th or the 31st. We'd have to see what would work for the ad hoc committee members. So I'm here to answer any questions you have and look for that volunteer.
Okay, anybody have any questions? And more importantly, does anybody volunteer? I say since Rick is not here, that we should automatically, that's
I'll
what he
take
gets.
Rick.
That's what he gets for not showing up, right?
Well, he was in the open land anyways, wasn't he? The conservation a long time ago.
He was at one time, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe the last, I mean, it was updated probably 7 or 8 years ago. And Rick, I think, is your representative to the Land Disposition Committee as well. So I was just going to ask Kathy, and if I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. But what's the time commitment?
Yeah, excellent question. It's probably going to be something, we're trying to do a truncated process. We'd like to, our actual open space and rec plan expired in August. I thought it was December, but it's already expired. So we're hoping to submit a draft in early next year, maybe March. So we'd probably be working fairly extensively, like twice a month for the next 6 months. So it'll be a short duration, but probably a little bit intensive twice a month.
Okay.
What day would you be meeting?
I guess we'd have to coordinate with the various committee members and see what might work for them, depending on who, if people are working and that type of thing. Maybe second and fourth Wednesdays at 4. I know Recreation Commission meets, so it's all going to be up to what works for the committee members. I'm obviously flexible, but a lot of people are on other committees, like the Recreation Commission. They have standing meetings that they need to meet, so it'll be fun.
Me too. Well, I think we should have Rick do it.
Second that.
Are you really going to do that to him?
No, I wouldn't mind doing that, but it seems like I have the first Monday of every month. I have every Tuesday and Thursday already taken. So it would have to be a Wednesday.
You could fit it on Wednesday, right? We'll just switch everybody else's plans here. I assume you need to know as quickly as possible. So you can
Yeah,
form the
I'd
committee.
like to actually get the committee set so we can start talking about dates that work for them. I have planning board first and third, so I was thinking maybe second and fourth Wednesdays might be something that works, but at like 4 o'clock, because Recreation Commission meets the second Wednesday of every month. So it's tricky. I know, every day of the week.
I know. I know. Anybody else have every day of the week?
I'm sorry, I'm booked solid at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, it's Wednesday's the only time, and that would make 2 weeks that I'd have every day of the week.
I'm gonna be
Yes.
away, that's my problem. I'll be away the last 2 weeks of October and a month in December.
We will have remote meetings probably, so we'd have a hybrid situation, so you could
I'm gonna
always
be in
scroll on
Hawaii
in.
For 2 weeks. I'm not going to any remote. I'm going.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna forget about all of you. Except for you, Karen.
Well, thanks. I
Are the
guess,
Meetings at 5 or?
To be determined, but I would just like to do something like at 4, if that's possible.
I'll throw my name in the hat, I guess. If I can't get,
You want to give it a try?
if I
and-
can't get him to do it, which, him.
and,
Too bad he isn't here. Maybe that's why he isn't here, because he knows I would give him a hard time about it.
I'm sure, without a doubt. I mean,
So throw
it's-
my name in there. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie.
Do we need to vote for that, or? I don't.
Typically, it's just you nominate her and she
volunteer, right?
accepts the
Volunteer
nomination.
position?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, Ellie. And as much as I sorely would have loved to have seen Rick's face when we told him that he was, I don't think we can
He's
do
probably
that.
watching us.
That's right, he is.
You can twist his arm at the next meeting and let me know.
That's right, he's driving in quickly. It's like, no, I'm pulling my name. All right, so sounds
Okay.
good.
All
Any
right.
other
All right.
questions for Kathy before she goes?
No, I know where to reach her.
Yeah, all right, yeah. All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Kathy.
What do we do about the echo? The echo?
I don't know. We can ask him if he can. All right, our next order of business is a request for determination of applicability for John Perry, 8 Niagara Lane, Yarmouth. Proposed addition of a 16 by 18 family room on sonotubes, 6-foot porch and 10-foot by 14-foot deck. Replacement of brick steps with deck and 8 by 12 bathroom on block foundation within land subject to coastal storm flowage.
When someone speaks in that
I think
microphone.
it's mostly that, Mike.
It's one of the
If yes,
table
you can
mics.
come on up.
You'll hear it in a minute when he speaks.
Yep, sure.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Perry. Thank you for having me, members of the commission. As just described, in 1981, my family purchased
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
a ranch-style home on Niagara Lane in West Yarmouth. We've been there for 41 years. We love the neighborhood. It's very quiet. It abuts the Yarmouth Drive-In behind us. And my family has grown. I have 2 daughters. We're both married and 2 grandchildren. And we have been hopeful for the past couple of years to try to add on. Obviously with COVID, we kind of put things on hold for a while. So I'm now here as part of the process. I've been to the other departments. I have not been to building yet. I know that they're the final say if you give approval. I was not aware that my property was subject to conservation, but learned as part of the process that because I'm in a flood zone, it is. I'm not concerned about adding on and having any issues with water. I have a full basement. I do have a sump pump. I have had no issues of any consequence for the past 40 years. The house is sort of built up, and a small family room and a bathroom would meet our family's needs and hopefully keep me in that neighborhood, for the years to come.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anybody have any questions? Anybody in the audience? Anybody on Zoom? Look at that, I can almost see
No,
things
no
here.
hands.
Right. With that said, then, unless there's any further discussion among the board, would somebody like to make a motion for a -2?
So moved.
Second, Tom?
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously. All right, so the negative determination is a good thing for you. It's a positive thing for you, and that means that you don't have to do any further filing with Conservation Commission. So you can move on and get move forward your building permit at this point. So, okay.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
One signature.
That's not it. Yes, it is.
What did I sign myself up for, Tom? What did I sign myself up for?
All right, next order of business is a continued notice of intent for SE 83-2350 Paul Shea for Peter M. Fairbanks, 41 Uncle Roberts Road, Yarmouth. Proposed raise and replace of a single-family home, swimming pool, patio, fire pit, grading, and landscaping, and new septic system within buffer zone to coastal bank and buffer zone to coastal dune. We have a letter in the file asking that they please accept this email as a formal request to continue the notice of intent hearing for the above referenced project from today's date, October 6th to November 3rd. Would somebody like to make a motion to continue to November 3rd?
So moved.
So moved.
That would be a second then.
Oh, sorry. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries
You
unanimously.
said November what?
What,
November 3rd.
did they give a reason, any
Yes,
reason?
they're downsizing the house. They're changing the house,
Oh.
a little, making this house a little smaller, and it's gonna have to reassess some of the landscaping and mitigation then. We don't need to
Thank
pass
you.
that down. Okay. All right, our next order of business is, let's see, another continued notice of intent for SE 83-2353 Gold Village Waterside LLC, 679 and 681 Route 28 Yarmouth. It's after the fact filing for an emergency repair under an emergency certification of rock revetment and riverfront area, land under the ocean, coastal bank, buffer to a salt marsh, and within land subject to coastal storm flowage. Let's see.
Is this the
Catherine?
restaurant?
Yeah,
Restaurant?
yeah. This is the skipper of the lobster boat. Catherine Ricks.
Is there a hand? I think there's a hand raised.
Yes, there is. So-
Turcott from Coastal.
Okay, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Catherine had another hearing tonight.
Okay,
So
sorry.
I'm filling in for her tonight. Excuse me. So,
Go
Um,
ahead.
so this is an after the fact filing. This is where we had come to you for an emergency because the erosion directly adjacent to the basement, to the foundation of the restaurant was in jeopardy with the revetment starting to fall and fail. And we came up with a temporary repair as we are working for a full NOI and working with Mass DEP Chapter 91 to come up with a resolution as to how to repair the area that is eroded and extensively eroded between the two revetments there, because that was not to be revetted back in the original 91 license. So we're working with them on coming up with a resolution for that in agreement so that we can then come back to you to present to it. So the work that was completed was done to provide a temporary repair until the full repair can be done. And that was completed and is working fairly well right now.
So
Can you give us 1 minute, Todd?
Sure.
I don't know, can you hear me, Todd?
Yes, I can.
So I think the commissioners are having some trouble hearing through the Zoom. But,
Okay.
my
You want me to try?
My understanding of what you said is you're looking for the after the fact NOI right now, but that this is a temporary repair and that you're working with the DOT on a longer term, and you'll be back in front of the commission with another NOI at a later date?
That is correct. This is with chapter 91 is who we're working with,
My-
Mass
my-
DEP.
Okay, so you were here with an emergency order before. Did you do anything with the emergency order?
Yes, we completed the work and we're filing the after the fact NOI that's required for you to have on file.
And that's what this is reflecting, right? There's nothing
That's
new
what
added to that.
Absolutely. Nothing new at all. Nope.
Okay. Is there any questions from the commission?
Well, I'm taking notes for minutes and I'm just not sure. So there's a temporary repair and later on you'll be back with a new plan for the permanent repair. Is that right, Todd?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, anybody else?
I think there was a,
There we
was
go.
it an underground sprinkler that was exposed there? Was that removed?
The sprinkler tubing is still there because it goes behind all of the revetment and will have to come out at one time rather than taking out just a piece and not disturbing and ripping up that whole area at this point, but it's been disconnected and is not operational. And we would have to rip out a lot more of it to get it out of there than just in that area that it was.
It's been disconnected, so there is no
Yes.
chance of erosion from that going off.
That is correct. Yeah, when the erosion started getting worse, it wasn't associated with that, but they shut that off anyways.
Okay, thank you.
Just so you know, they have actually stopped watering over there. The irrigation has all stopped over there as well, so.
Hasn't? Okay.
Anybody else? Anybody in the audience? Anybody on Zoom? Right, if not, would somebody like to make a motion to approve this project? And I think we're pretty much on the same special conditions that we had before from the emergency order. But I don't have those in front of me, I don't
Want me
think.
to, find them?
No, I think we can just say whatever they were, but
Can we just say with previous conditions from emergency order?
yeah, we're good. That's part of the record, so.
Okay. So moved.
Right, is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Two. Thank you.
Okay. Marginally, yeah. Next order is a new notice of intent for SE 83-2354 Paul Malloy 37 Bass River Road, Yarmouth. The proposed construction of addition and deck and riverfront area buffer zone to salt marsh and buffer zone to a coastal bank. Kieran,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Kieran Healy. I'm a land surveyor with the BSC Group, representing Mr. and Mrs. Paul Malloy right here behind me. If we have any questions for them as we go along. What we're looking to do is to remove an existing concrete walkout basement and replace it partially with an addition and partially with a deck. The existing concrete is 5.3 feet from the top of coastal bank, and we're looking to move it back to 5.7 feet. Not a lot, but we're just trying to push back that area where we can. That also will be removed from being an existing concrete wall to a proposed deck area. The addition that we're proposing to the building is on the landward side, away from the river, but as it is still within the riverfront area, we've calculated that we need 120 8 square feet of new construction, and we're using a 2-to-1 multiplier for work within the riverfront area to give us a total proposed mitigation area of 260 square feet. That is adjacent to the wetlands on my planned salt marsh flag number 6 in that general area, down adjacent to the water. Other than that, we're not really proposing to do anything else to the property. The septic system is relatively new. The driveways are staying, the main house is staying exactly as it is. It's primarily this addition to the north side of the building, and with the removal of the existing sun porch and concrete walls that are there. Other than that, I'd be glad to answer any questions you have.
Okay, Karen, I'm sorry, and I apologize. I did not get out to see this one, so if I'm asking silly questions, bear with me. But I'm reading also from some notes that Brittany had left, and so she's a little concerned with the mitigation area. So the mitigation area is that just that one area that's already marked, the 260 square feet,
Yes,
and that's the area that consists mostly of sumac. Is there sumac in there already growing?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes, okay. And then I don't know, so if those of you who were there already know, was there a bare spot that she was referring to that, can somebody describe where that is?
The proposed addition, the only bare spot I saw was basically grass up there.
Would any of the photos help you?
Yeah. Could
Don't
be.
know.
I mean,
We'll find out.
Yeah, like right about where your hand was. Nope, up, right about in there. There's a bare spot just off to the, move your hand to the building. Yeah, there's a bare spot in there where there's not much grass.
Okay,
that area is primarily where we're putting the addition.
yeah,
That's what the beam poles are indicating.
No, well, no, I know, but it's just outside the poles. It's where the, it's just to the north of the deck. That's gonna be redone and enclosement. That's all grass over there, or kind of grass. It's bare spot. Bring your hand up.
yeah, I think
And
that's
that
what she
area.
is. That's, according to her notes, she's saying it's a bare spot area or a bare area near a proposed addition or lawn replacement on the opposite side.
what about on the site plan? Is the site plan helpful?
Yeah, right
I
along
think
in
the
there.
Photos that we were just looking at are over
Right there.
here with the
Yep.
hand.
Mm-hmm.
We actually don't mind where the mitigation goes. I mean, we were putting it down near the water because that was what the commission
Traditionally where
generally
it is.
prefers. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter in this particular case. As long as we've got, 6 to 8 feet off of the building to get around the building, we don't mind putting it in that location.
Yeah, I think the only concern she has is that it's already vegetated with sumac, and therefore she was looking to maybe get a better spot for the mitigation, so.
Karen, if you want to go to the shots that I sent you, I don't think they're, well, they may be in this.
There's this
Yeah.
one.
That's that area. You can see the sticks where the mitigation's going to be.
Yeah, there's no reason to
It's
put
very,
mitigation there.
very vegetated.
I think that's grown up a little bit since we did our work, our field work out there.
Yeah,
So
I
I agree with there's no point in putting anything in that location. That's not what the intent was.
If you go to the next picture, I think there's another one too.
Oh.
Oh.
Number. I'm sorry. I'm not the best at this.
Yeah, that's where it's all, you can see the stick, the other marker.
yeah, that's definitely not a spot for
Yeah,
mitigation.
yeah.
See the tree removal too? that-
The two trees right there. Is that the tree removal?
There's two stumps.
Oh, that must
Yeah.
be the trees that they were talking about.
And I think that's basically the bare area that
That's
she
the
was
area
also
she was
talking about.
Yeah.
Could you fit it in there?
We need to get around the building. So that's the stump you can see is only about less than 2 feet, that closest stump to the wall. And the stump that's on the bottom of the page is about 6 feet off of the wall. So, I mean, we can, well, if the commission were agreeable tonight, what I could do is just go forward and then meet with Brittany on site and just isolate a few areas. And, we plan on putting in 260 square feet of mitigation.
Yeah.
Brittany and I can walk the site and we can figure out exactly where to put that. We don't have a problem with that.
I'm fine with that.
That's a good idea.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah. I do have a question. Leave it on
Yep.
this picture here. In the plans that you have here, it looks like there's a step down to the walkout basement. Are those steps just about where, well,
Do you want me to go back?
but just about there is where they're saying there's going to be steps? Is that what the plan is depicting?
Yes, but if you look where the beam pole is with the flagging, that's where the addition is, and everything to the left of that would be deck.
So that would be steps down to the walk down basement?
It actually would be steps up from the ground up onto where the deck is.
Oh, okay.
There'll be no steps down on this side of the,
All right, it'll be steps up. Okay. And the deck goes over the existing walkout basement. Okay.
Which will
That was
be-
a confusion I had there trying to figure out.
which we're removing. All of that concrete area that you can see right there is going to be removed. If I could just
Yep.
go.
Sure.
Don't trip.
This section right here is, all that concrete is going to be removed. The addition is going to be in this area.
Yep.
And from here to here is going to be the deck that kind of wraps around.
And on,
And the few steps will be right here to get up and get around that deck.
all right, no,
But there'll be no steps on the far side going down. From that, they'll just use the pathway.
You aren't going any further out.
No, we're coming back just a few inches, but we are coming back.
That's right. Thank you.
all right.
Anybody else? Pat, did I see you had a question or,
I think that's a good plan, having Brittany go out.
okay.
Decision.
All right, anybody in the audience? Anybody in Zoom? So what I think I'd like to do is we'll continue it solely for to issue after are you going to be able to get out with her within the next week or, when is she back? I don't even,
She will be back
12th.
next Wednesday.
Yeah.
next Wednesday.
So you're looking to have her in time for the next hearing or the next hearing?
Would it be possible to go
Next.
forward tonight? And then I will just submit the plan to her?
Yeah, I'll go and we'll just make it dependent upon receiving a revised plan showing the location of the newly agreed upon mitigation area. But,
Right, and she wouldn't issue the order till she gets that plan in hand.
right, until she gets that revised plan. Okay? All right. With that said, then, would somebody like to make a motion?
Hold on.
Okay. Let-
I make a motion that we approve the plan with special conditions 1 through 7. 14 and 15, there'll be no fill, will there? 17 through 19, 20, 21, 23, 25, 26, 44, and 45. So if you guys want to look those over and see if there's anything I
Can I
missed,
just repeat those?
I will. Let
When was
them,
the house built, Kieran?
When was it built?
Yeah.
I don't have an exact date, but it's been there a while.
Predates the act?
I believe so, yes. I don't have an exact date, but I do believe it's been there quite a while.
Okay, so then we would take 25 out then, right?
Correct.
25
yes.
out? Okay.
So I'm fine with everything else. And you want to add just the special condition that we receive a revised plan after the field meeting,
Reflecting 260
And with-
square feet of mitigation.
reflecting the 260 feet of new mitigation area. All good?
Give me a second here.
Okay.
Will receive 260, a new plan, okay. With consultation with Brittany, right?
After the field meeting.
All right, I got it.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, David.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Karen.
And thank you, Mrs. Green.
So that is a new
Yep.
plan, new revision.
Okay.
All right, next order of business is a new notice of intent for SE 83-2356.
Ellie, two.
James and Krista Egan, 22 Holly Lane, Yarmouth, proposed demolition of three-season room and construction of a living room and bedroom with new cross space foundation and a farmer's porch, and land subject to coastal storm flowage.
There you go, Tom, two of them.
This is 681 Main Street. So that's the one that we,
We already, yep, we are,
This is 22 Holly Lane,
it's 22 Holly Lane,
okay?
okay?
Mhm.
Hello, if you would just state your name for the record, briefly describe what you'd like to do, and then we'll throw it out for questions.
My name's James Egan. I own the property along with my wife. We've owned it about 12 years. We're planning on moving down here permanently, so we wanted to do this addition to make it a little more livable for ourselves, basically. It's in a flood zone, so that's basically why we're here.
Okay. Would anybody have any questions from the board?
give a picture, just remind myself which house. I'm
Yeah, there is a
talking about.
picture. At least I sent one.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Ellie, did you take photos?
Yeah,
well?
I did. But she has photos there too, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, if you look at that picture, to the right of the chimney is what would come off the house. And then the addition would be to the right a little bit more, extending about 8 feet to the right, 6 feet forward, and 4 feet back. That's basically the extent of it.
Okay.
And
Yep.
then you're gonna do a little porch on the front.
And, oh yeah, and a farmer's porch across the front, the rest of it.
Yep.
Yes, right there, yeah.
The rest is like a wraparound, kind of.
Are you doing is it are you doing it with a new foundation?
Yes, but it's only gonna be like like a frost wall,
Crawl
3
space.
feet. Yeah, crawl
Okay.
space, yes,
All right.
which is what the rest of the house is. Except for the porch. The porch is now just a slab.
Okay.
Wasn't that where the porch is?
Yes, the porch part will come off of the house
Okay, yep,
altogether. And
that's
then
what I
they'll
thought.
build a new foundation around it.
Right.
And then, of course, it's gonna get built up to the level of the house. Like currently you go from the house, you step down 2 steps to the porch. It'll be built up to the level of the house. No, there'll be no more stepping down.
Okay.
And are you doing? How are you handling roof runoff? You're doing that to dry well or
I don't
Roof
understand the
bench.
question. I'm sorry.
the runoff from the roof? Are you using gutters? I'm assuming you're putting gutters and downspouts?
There are no gutters there now. I did not think of that. If it's something I should do, then I will. Is that something I need to do?
Yeah, I would just I would just recommend that you do that. You can do it just out and gutters downspouts
Sure.
to a simple dry well right at the bottom of the gutter
Okay,
or at the downspout.
that's no problem.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
Nope.
Anybody in the audience? Anybody in Zoom? Would somebody like to make a very simple motion for a simple set of conditions?
Okay, I guess this is 22 Holly Lane, right?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept with special conditions 1 through 7. There's not going to be any fill on this, is there? Okay. 8 through 13. Is 13 the fill? I can't remember. That's
The list right there in front of you, if you want to follow along.
okay. So it would be 8 through 12.
No, hold on, there's no cesspool, right? It's,
No.
and you're not
There's a
doing anything
septic.
to new subsurface, right?
The septic tank is shown on the,
Yeah,
in the raised leaching field.
yes, I think you're good, Ellie, just to do, incorporate 11,
Yep.
11 and 12 only
So
on
what-
that.
So
You don't
1
need-
through
So you
7
don't
and
need
11
8?
through 11 and 12 right now.
Right.
Oh, no 8, no,
Okay, so 11 and 12, no 8 and 9 or 10.
okay.
Okay. 11 and 12. 14 and 15. 17 through 19, if I got that right.
And then
20, 21. 23.
No.
No, no 23?
no, 20. Yeah, no, not 20.
Yeah, they're not in the wetland area,
And
okay.
You can go right down to 44, 45 and be
Okay,
done.
no 25 or 26 on that one?
Nope.
Nope, no 25 or 26.
So-
44 and 45.
So it goes 17 through 21.
17 through 21.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, Pat.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously.
Just have a quick question. All those conditions that you guys were running through real quick.
You have to, you didn't know
Can I
that?
get a summary of that somehow?
You can memorize those?
No.
Oh, geez, like, well,
Too late. No, you'll get it.
Something will be online or?
no, it'll actually come, it comes as when Brittany she's going to write what's called an order of conditions. She'll submit that. It'll let you know that it's there.
Okay.
And that will include all of those
And we'll get a
those
chance to review it
conditions. You'll
then.
get a copy of that, and then you'll have to take that over and record that order over at the Registry of Deeds.
Okay, so I have to wait for that to come.
Yeah, definitely, you
Gets
do,
back
don't,
from Where she is.
That's right.
Okay,
Right.
that's fine. All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
All right, next order of business, request for extension of an order of conditions for SE 83-2120 40 Crosby Street Extension.
Good evening, Chairman Hoops, members of the commission. My name is Dan Ojala. I'm a land surveyor and civil engineer with Downkeep Engineering in Yarmouthport. With me is Andrew Garrelay of the Yarmouthport Design Group. He's a landscape architect who has been working with AJ and Tina Luke to revisit the prior approval for their mitigation plantings. And the request is an extension in order to give Andrew time to develop a little bit more rigorous planting plan with some adjustments and get that in front of you either under an amended plan or amended order, or perhaps if it's minor enough administrative review, but in some process. But would like, because we're out of time on this extension that she had gotten a couple of years ago, we would like to very much get a brief extension so that we can complete some work. The gist of it is, why an extension? She's realized that the goldenrod and some of the wildflowers, there's some allergies in the family, and they're not looking forward to increasing that. And so they're going to look for a little more woody growth. And so you'll see from Andrew, I believe, a lot more dense planted woody shrub instead of the big wildflower meadow that we proposed earlier. And he could expand on that a little bit if needed. But we would respectfully request the extension for those reasons, and I'd be glad to answer any questions if you do have them.
Okay, thank you. And did you, so right now, all of the proposed wildflower meadows are grass. Is that right?
Most of it is, I would say the majority. They did the coir logs and there's some seagrass there. I don't know if the wildflower meadow ever made it down that far. Just to be completely accurate. Some of that is planted with some beach grass where it says wildflower meadow, but it's probably a little more appropriate that close to the salt spray down there. So Andrew can incorporate some more of that probably, but then get into some woodier growth as it gets up towards the main lawn. It's kind of a Cape Cod lawn. There is a slope against the bulkhead that comes down pretty close to the water, but it doesn't look like they put any fertilizer on it. And it's kind of, it's not like a lush lawn like the rest of it. So I don't think there's any imminent threats.
I don't see a plan. Which one do you have?
We can get it. we can
I
get
want
it
Dan, I
for
want to
you.
make sure I
Hmm?
have the
We
right.
can get
plan.
anything.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
No,
There's a newer one.
we
than
did.
that.
We got something 3
September
years ago,
12th, I
and they're
think it
asking
is.
for another extension.
I don't know, the September 12th one, we just did, probably, was there could you zoom in on the driveway on that?
7th.
I don't know if you guys ever got this one, because it was such a minor revision. All we did was add a trench drain to the driveway
Okay.
way out.
We go back to this one.
Yeah, that's gonna be, you should have got a September 7th at least. Revision date.
It is in there somewhere, but it's. in the-
Control zoom, see if that makes it any bigger. It's a lot of mitigation that
Here,
didn't,
here, got it. 7th of September.
9/7/2017, yeah.
2017.
That should be the plan of record, yeah.
a lot of mitigation that hasn't been done.
A little bit fuzzy.
It's-
Oh, yeah,
it's
we'll
not-
certainly redo that with, yeah. It's.
When was this supposed to be accomplished?
This was
Well, this is a house that went up a few years back now. They didn't do the house. It took them a while to get the house done. And then the daughter had a wedding, I know, and everything was up in a big tizzy, which was probably the reason for the last extension. But, so,
I
we
remember
were still
correctly.
adjusting things
I
and
remember this.
Yeah, if I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
correctly, the daughter got married 2 years ago. Why has this not been planted since then?
yeah, well, it's,
We agreed that we would give them the extension after the daughter got married, which was supposed to happen that growth season that September. And that was 2 years ago. So this is,
So now
this should
you're-
have been in there already.
So now
it's
you're
just-
saying that you're going to have to redesign a mitigation area.
I've just recently been contacted and was explained the situation, and I don't know how they got to where they are and why it's not done. But what I said to them was, if they don't want to have wildflowers, the best thing that we can do, both for conservation and for them, is to start at the resource area and draw a line parallel with the back of the house and bring that line, keep bringing that line back toward the house and infill with woody plants and just keep 2 paths, but do it all with woody plants and do it instead of running up. I mean, to be honest with you, I seldom do I ever see mitigation plans when they're allowed to run up the sides of the property. That's typically you go from the resource area full width and work from the resource area to have the biggest, more solid buffer. And that's what I'm going to be proposing to do. And I'm going to be proposing to do it with woody plants.
Well, I
So the net
understand
would
that,
be a
and I
reduction.
appreciate that, but this delay, that's something that should have been done a number of years ago, is really rather frustrating because they're just asking for more time. There's another issue that I'd like to bring to the board. When I was down there is they do have a violation on their dock. They have put in 2 jet ski lifts on the dock that are not permitted.
No, were you?
So I just wanted to bring that up too before we start going into allowing extensions that are longer than what needed to be done.
through the chair.
Yep.
I think that was mitigated. They removed those already, Ellie. I'm not, was it,
So I was down there today and I took a picture of both jet ski
they're back?
lifts.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Not the floats. They
Oh.
got rid of the floats. They put lifts in
Oh,
to the dock
oh,
that are not permitted.
oh.
The
Well,
lifts-
that is a valid, there is a.
They're not permitted.
There's a license 3048 for a pier, a fixed pier ramp and
Mhm.
pretty, a T
There
float.
is.
But if there's not a pertinence to that with a jet ski lift and piers, that
Sure.
definitely needs to be permitted. Yeah, yeah, I was not aware of that.
Two here that I don't see any excuse for either one of them. So that's just my opinion and I'll let the board decide from there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, Andrew, I 100% agree. I think we had a lot of discussion and go around the last extension discussing that very point about the mitigation area running up the sides of the property versus along the 50-foot buffer.
I-
And so, you know, I mean, given the fact that we have several different issues that seem to be needing a enforcement order, I guess my concern here is now, and my first inclination is to say, I don't see why we should be extending it any further at this point, because they haven't done anything we've asked them to do. What is do you have the exact expiration date now, Dan?
It's only about a month out.
We're a month out,
unfortunately.
okay.
Yeah, let me look and see if I can find that for you.
So. Yeah, so it looks like we're,
Extended until 11/1/22.
yeah. we're-
They'd really love to pull up some more lawn, most adjacent the river, and do some woody plantings instead. And honestly, looking at this, I don't know how well a wildflower would do up under the shade on that north side past the Osprey pole. So I think Andrew's on the right track and giving up a little more lawn out front and getting some woody plants in there. But I know that you probably would be pressed to get the plan ready and then those things done before a month.
Yeah. so
Well,
there's
I don't
no way
know
you're gonna
about the
get that
plan-
Done. I mean, I hate to say it, but
Would a year be acceptable?
If I may, I think the only thing that would really stop two things, getting a contractor in time, and there may be difficulty with plant availability, although I'm not 100% sure of that. I would suggest that where the slope starts going down toward the beach, that part I would suggest doing in beach grass where it's sloped. And once we get up to the top of the slope, we'd go to the woody plants. I don't know if they can get a contractor and get the plants to make November, but
way you're gonna
certainly,
get
or
that done.
certainly by early in the spring, we should be able to get this. I guess my question would be, aside from violations and how they got there, what would be the ideal thing for the commission on how to get this resolved as soon as possible and as best as possible, and see if we can make sure that that happens?
I mean, I think at this point, I'd like to see, I would like to see a new planting or a new mitigation planting plan.
That I can
Um,
do fairly quickly.
And so how realistically, what time frame are we looking at to see something like that? Can you get that done?
Certainly in a month, probably in 2 weeks.
Okay. So, I mean, the way I'm looking at it right now is I would like to, I don't think we have any choice. We should go ahead and extend it, but I think, let's see, what we're at October now, right?
It's October 6th today.
We can get a new mitigation plan by our November meeting.
So
I mean, I would say, yeah, I'd be looking at extending. Personally, I would recommend extending the permit to go through for the next 7 months, which would take them to the end of May. Okay. With the understanding that we're going to see by November 3rd, was it?
So your November meetings are the 3rd and the 17th. You wanted
Can you
plans,
do the
you'd want-
plan by the 3rd?
As long as I get cooperation on the other end, I think, I'm sure I can.
Do you want
And
the
I'd
plan by the
expect that.
27th for the 3rd?
Yeah, so we would need the plan by the 27th of October, but for us to be able to review it and then be able to listen to it on the 3rd of November. That's not possible. I mean, should we just go to, what did you say?
The next meeting would be the 17th, so
17th.
you'd look for the plan by the 10th.
October 27th for the plan.
October 27th for the plan has to be here by October 27th for November 3rd, or November 10th to be heard at the November 14th,
17.
sorry, 17th hearing.
If we're, just to put out there, it sounds like the 10th would be a little more comfortable for Andrew if we could get it on the 17th, because the
Okay.
plants aren't going to go in this fall anyway, and give us have a little better chance to
Yeah.
fine tune it.
And I would try to get in and review with I'm sorry, I know you have a new person, Brittany, and maybe review with her just to make sure we're on the right track earlier. So we're not just going to come in and have something that's not good and then delay things.
She's going to be jammed up because she's out of town now.
Jammed up, but
Yeah.
she'll reach out. It sounds
the
like a
10th.
priority.
And trees.
What's that?
She noted in her notes here about 10 trees no longer present on plan. Something
Yeah,
that
I
you
don't,
look
I
at.
don't know what the situation is. I'm just,
Okay, so good to
yeah.
talk to her.
so I'll definitely talk to her. I actually was trying to get a hold of her on the phone. I didn't know she was away. So when will she be back?
Next week.
Okay, next Monday
I'll
or?
make sure
so?
she's aware that you're reaching out
Yeah,
and
yeah. So yeah, I would definitely want to talk to her and make sure that we're addressing everything that needs to be addressed.
And then for the removal of those jet ski floats, how do you want to handle?
Lifts.
Lifts, not floats. How would you like to handle that? Do you want to have Brittany send a letter? Would you guys send a memo, or should I just alert the owner to remove them? What's your
prefer-
pleasure?
If you want to let the owners know and they can do it right now, and we'll look for it again, or we'll go and look again sometime before the 17th. And if they're gone,
Or they got to file a notice of intent
if they're not, they'll be
after the
seeing
fact,
a-
notice of intent with double filing fees and.
they'll have the, and yeah, they'll have the
Request.
enforcement order with the, and then if they want to go through with that, then they can go that way, that route as well.
Okay. All right,
Please
well,
be
I'll
clear-
certainly pass it on and hopefully we can get some traction on that.
To be clear to them, they can't put it back
Right,
in the
no,
spring.
right.
Not without
It's not a,
permitting.
not a seasonal permit, no.
Right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
A couple questions.
Mhm.
Yeah, just so that I understand and inform my vote on this. So there was a hearing on November 5th, 2020, 2 years ago, and there were some accommodations provided to this property in a sense. One of the reasons had to do with a wedding that was coming along. But if I'm understanding this, nothing has been done, or very little has been done to conform to the requirements to this particular point. And in fact, some liberties were taken in terms of planting a very nice lawn instead of a wildflower area, et cetera, et cetera. There's been a recommendation by our administrator having to do with an enforcement order for the violation of order of conditions. In your discussions here to kind of resolve and move this forward, is that enforcement order still under consideration due to all of these inconsistencies in terms of following the recommendations or the requirements of the committee going back to November of 2020?
Yeah, I think as long as they adhere to what we're asking, then we don't have to worry about it. But if they don't, then
Okay, so
then it gets.
we're
issued.
giving them this is probably the wrong word, a pass in terms of not doing what they're supposed to do over the last 2 years,
Yeah.
right?
But I should correct one thing in that you said planted lawn, but really it's always been lawn.
This thing.
And that's a big difference, you know, if.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Had we put in a new lawn, I think it would be a completely different matter, but it was just maintaining the old lawn that's been there historically. So they haven't expanded the lawn area any. And they did remove the concrete structure and put in the core logs and some planting. So they've moved forward some, but certainly not to the extent that they could have or.
You know why
They should have.
the work wasn't done?
I think it's a matter of them, you know, it's probably COVID. They run, the liquor store is flat out. They're just busy people and they haven't been able to, you know, engage to get a site guy out there and do the work. And,
Well,
you
we're
know,
all
I
kinda
don't think
busy.
they really are looking forward to doing it. So I'm sure there's a little bit of procrastination and, you know, we do apologize, but I think Andrews can get them on the right track. And and certainly work towards getting something that's going to be put in promptly.
I was very clear that in order for me to get involved in this, we've got to do it correctly.
Could I?
And I'm not under contract yet, so.
I agree with Paul. I think where he's going, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would like to see an enforcement order put forth because I don't think these owners, I think they need something in writing to say, if you don't do this, then this is what's going to happen. And this has to do with both the mitigation and the jet ski lifts. I don't know if anybody else agrees, but I'd like to see something in writing to them. Maybe I'm the only one.
Oh, I don't
No.
agree.
I agree with the gentleman.
So would that be as an enforcement order of it has to be done by a certain amount of time?
Well,
That's what we're giving them right now.
Well, that's why I said that's what we're doing right now. We're saying you either do this by the 17th, have this all ready by the 17th, or you will be getting enforcement, you will be doing, and you will be getting fines for each of those violations.
As long as that's clear to the owner, I'm happy with
Can
that.
you make that clear? And please tell them that the board
I
is.
think I honestly believe that in the last 48 hours, we've gotten a pretty good consensus on how this has got to go.
Okay, I mean, I'm willing to,
Yeah, and we'll let them know. And you, in the next meeting, you can drop one on them if it doesn't, they're there, unfortunately, they went through that little process before where they had to remove the floats and they got that, but I guess the message, perhaps they just thought that they could attach them to the piles. I don't know, but we've got to clarify that because it's not on the license plan and it does need to be.
No license for that.
Yeah, no license for that. The 3048 covers everything else, but not for the jet ski lifts. So that's a new matter. And you're welcome to do that, but perhaps just to save you the paperwork at the next meeting, because I'm sure you'll get some activity from our conversations with them.
okay, so are we, tell me back exactly what we're expecting, just so.
So
I
by
understand we're
the
all on
third or
same page.
by the 3rd or perhaps the 10th at the latest, Andrew will present to the board a new landscape plan. He will have met with Brittany, understood, what her general concerns are. If she's, happy with the woody growth and the plan that he's got, then that would be appropriate to bring before you on the 17th. So we'll file it by the 10th, certainly. The jet ski lifts, we're going to mention that their best and most pleasing action will be to physically unbolt them and remove them. And then if they want to put them back, they'll come in and apply. And you'll know probably by the 17th which way we're going with that, if that works.
And
I
it
think
has
we
to be
mentioned that.
started to plant in 7 months.
Right, I think we said that it's extending you to May 31st.
Right, not a 2-year extension, only till the end of May. And then, if we get a hurricane, we'll come back. But hopefully not in May. We won't have any hurricanes.
Okay, so we're all clear on that. It seems like everybody is on the same page.
Yeah, if I may, I think that maybe you've touched upon a little of the frustration of this commission when the experience I've had and the time I've been on it, that you try to be accommodating to people and understanding and reasonable. And then there's just like this cavalier attitude towards what you've talked about and suggested and everything, and then it comes to this. And I just hope it doesn't come to this kind of a situation again. I don't know how many different kinds of consequences we could apply, but certainly if we could apply the most severe in some cases, I would be very much in favor of that, because it is very frustrating and I think very irresponsible of the owners, especially of such wonderful property, to treat this kind of situation in the way they do. And that's all I have to say.
Point well taken. Thank you.
All right, so do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to issue an extension until May 31st of 2023, contingent upon receipt of a revised plan received by November 10th, showing the new mitigation planting area and planting palette, the removal of the jet ski lifts, and I think that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second. Paul.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously.
We feel it's very reasonable of the commission, and we thank you for working with us, and you'll hear from us shortly. Thank you.
Oh, It's just,
Thank you very much.
yeah, just a little tweak. Yeah. It's one of these.
Nope. Yes, sorry.
Did you see my note, Ed?
We do have something. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna read both of these. We have a request to amend an order of conditions. These are over on North Cove Landing, so I'm gonna actually read both of these into the record so we can discuss both as we need to. But we will be issuing separate orders for each one.
Just one.
So for request to amend an order of conditions for SE 83-2203, Kenneth Rogers, 11 North Cove Landing, Yarmouth, proposed driveway restoration within riverfront area and in the buffer zone to a wetland resource area. And for SE 83-2201, Douglas and Bethanino for 15 North Cove Landing, Yarmouth, proposed driveway restoration within riverfront area and in the buffer zone to a wetland resource area. Mr. Perry, how are you?
Chairman, you collecting green cards?
Sure.
Thank you.
Just one.
Those are two sets of green cards for each respectively. For the record, I'm Bob Perry, professional engineer with Cape Cod Engineering. Doug Anino, one of the two applicants, is with me tonight. And it was probably a month ago that we came to see you about a fairly simple process of restoring a driveway area. And the co-applicant, I think, took some exception to the fact that there was an easement that has always existed, and it was not indicated on the plan. We did not think that the repair to the surface was germane to the easement, but he wanted it on there. So we all agreed to do that. And so resubmitted to you. I think some vacation time got in the way, and so we're here a month later. So a week ago, or a little more than that, we provided you with the plan with the record easement on it, specifications for the driveway resurfacing. And I also provided a sketch or a colored drawing from Doug Anino, who's an architect, showing you that while the driveway is being restored, it's actually going to be centered in the easement. So it's gotten a little bit narrower than it was presently, and it's probably shifting over 3 feet when it's finally done. So it's basically taking an area that's bituminous pavement, very old and damaged on a downslope, and it's taking that out, making sure the ground underneath is appropriate. There's a little bit of base going to go in. And then porous pavers, slightly more porous than bituminous pavement, would be placed where shown on the plan. So there would be an 8-foot wide surface, where today that surface is closer to 10, but it's kind of nondescript on the edges. Now, that's really all there is. And because it was recommended that rather than have this restoration work be done as part of the original order of conditions, because that was for a seawall and this was the access route, that the amended order of conditions application or approach be the way to do this. So there's just a request to amend both of these orders of conditions to allow the driveway surface to be reworked, and that's it. Be happy to take your questions.
Okay, and we do have a record from both applicants stating that they are aware of the other applicants' intent, so they are set to go with that. Any questions from the board?
Yes, I do. The new driveway is paved or,
Well, the old driveway is paved with bituminous asphalt, and the new driveway replacement would be pavers, paver blocks.
well, I'm a little confused only because it's, at least what I'm looking at, September 1st says restore paved driveway. But what you're saying is you're not restoring it with paved, but with pavers.
Should be some specification notes on that same plan that would speak to that, but I'd have to refer to it myself.
Yeah, it does.
Am I looking at this right place?
We didn't just issue a plan, we've actually got some specs. I'll read them to you.
Service shall be dried lath paver blocks or stone set to meet standards, dry masonry.
Okay, number 9, I see it.
specifications.
We also are proposing a work limit that confines the work area because it's earthwork.
That clarifies it, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, anybody else? Again, you're understanding that we're doing for both, this is actually both properties we're discussing at the same time.
Yeah, as far as the conditions go, those are the existing conditions from the seawall and all that.
Previous
Okay.
order, yeah. Okay, anybody in the, any further discussion among the board? Nobody's in the audience? I think
Two
there's
people on
somebody,
Zoom, but I can't read who they are. You might ask if they want to speak to have them
anybody
raise
on
their
Zoom
hands.
who wants to speak, please raise your hand
Well, there's Ken
electronically.
Rogers, I see, and somebody Smith. Pamela Smith?
I think Rogers is the co-applicant.
Was it Pam? What was the name?
Josephine
Ed-
Rogers and Ken Rogers,
Right.
co-owners.
Ken Rogers?
Yep.
Did you want to say something?
Nope.
Nope, okay. And then who's the other person?
Pam.
Who?
Pam Smith.
Pam Smith? Pam Smith, do you want to comment on this project?
Oh, there's a hand. Or is it a closed mic?
No, thank you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, thank you.
Okay. That was a lot of work for that.
It was.
Okay, so everybody else, nobody else on Zoom?
No.
All right, would somebody like to make a motion then for these two? Well, actually, I'll do a first for SE 83 2203 for 11 North Cove Landing. Would somebody like to make a motion for that one?
So moved.
And this is just to incorporate the same conditions, special conditions as
Right.
previously with the previous order. Is there a second?
Second, Tom.
Okay, all those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. And then the same thing again for SE 83-2201 for 15 North Cove Landing. Would somebody like to make a motion again to accept with the same conditions as previously existed for the old order of conditions?
So moved.
There's a second. I heard somebody say a second. Paul, that was
Paul
you?
got the one.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, Ellie moved,
Ellie
Paul
moved,
second.
Paul seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously.
There we go. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Took us a while to get here, but I think it was worth it.
I hope.
Get it right. Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, Bob.
What each? So where are we?
Oh, this is the wrong one.
One
So it's the Mid-Tech Drive. You don't have a folder.
We don't have a
because we
folder
knew
for that.
we were going to
and two.
continue it to the date certain.
We just have the email. The next order of business is a stormwater management permit application for JDB 212 Mid-Tech Drive LLC, care of Turtle Rock LLC. Thank you. For 186 and 212 Mid-Tech Drive, Yarmouth, proposed redevelopment of existing office building site with proposed 11,400 square foot contractor bays, building with new paved parking lot, new septic system, new drainage systems, and new site lighting and landscape. We do have the peer review comments from Jason Gold from TRC Companies. Continuance of the hearing is required to address the comments. Please let me know your preferred hearing date to allow for time to supplement the application. There's a Word document version as well to assist your preparation. And
Want me to paraphrase?
John Lavelle from,
So this was the project where we needed to send out the application for peer review. We received the peer review comments. We've sent them back to the applicant, and we've heard from them, but we weren't able to kind of arrange the review internally in time. So we've worked with them. They've requested that the matter be extended to October 20th. And I think that's about it.
yeah, so that is, yeah, so if Matt Eddy is the engineer for that, and he is requesting 10/20 continuance. Would somebody like to make a motion to that effect?
So moved, Tom.
Is there a second?
Second, Pat.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll see Matt or John on the 20th. Right, next order of business is a continued certificate of compliance for SE 83-176 for 175 Route 28, Yarmouth. Do we have anybody representing for this one?
I'm not sure what Pamela Smith, is she here to represent on one of these?
Pamela Smith, are you here to represent one of these?
I'm the owner of 41 on Doris Lane, the last one on your agenda.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, thank you. I'll be with you in just a minute then. Okay, so with this certificate of compliance, Brittany had looked at it. She said some work has been completed, but not all. Trees and pits are in, but the pavement has not removed from roadside along the front near the sign or from one parking space to the east. The berm is not yet repaired on the west side. Site visit closer to the meeting date is needed, which was not done. And therefore, I would say that we should just continue this to October 20th, unless somebody has objection. All right, so I have a motion to continue to October 20th.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, David.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously. Next order of business is a certificate of compliance for 118 Driftwood Lane. I believe everything is okay with this one.
Do we have?
Let's see, Lynn, are you out there?
No.
All right.
If I remember correctly, although I'd much rather have Brittany do this, I think there was no addition or restoration to the boathouse or the gazebo. I think she told me there was no work that was done on this, but
Yeah,
don't hold me
actually,
to that.
the letter from Lynn Hamlin, the Conservation Commission issued order of conditions to Gerard Evans approving construction of a 15-foot addition, quote, on old house, unquote, and restoration of boathouse, docks, and gazebo at 118 Driftwood Lane. That was done under wetlands file number SE 83-93, was dated June 21st, 1977. So the property was recently transferred. Parties would like to close out the old outstanding order. The house footprint was modified in more recent years, which seems to have absorbed the 15-foot addition. The pier was rebuilt under wetlands file number SE 83-1508, and the property was inspected last week, and there is no boathouse or gazebo present.
Okay, that's what I thought.
As the order of conditions is for construction that either does not exist anymore or has been superseded by subsequent approvals, the applicant requests that a certificate of compliance be issued at this time. And my only concern about that is where did the addition, I mean, I know the addition, the 15-foot addition got absorbed, but how did it get absorbed? And are we closer to a resource area now than what we were originally?
I think we should hold off until next meeting.
Say, would you like some additional review from staff on this item and
Yes, I believe
to
so.
continue it further?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to. So I'd like somebody to make a motion to continue to October 20th for some clarification.
So move, David.
Is there a second?
Second, Ellie.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right. That's not going along too well. All right. Our next order of business then is enforcement for 41 Aunt Dora's Lane, Yarmouth. I have a cease and desist second notice to Pamela Lewis and Richard Smith, 41 Aunt Dora's Lane. This is coming, because I don't have any notes on this whatsoever, unless somebody else has had anything more recent from Brittany.
Last thing is on 9/14, Brittany said that the owner is willing to plant shrubs on her property.
Okay, and
It's online.
Well, it wasn't the planting of the shrubs to delineate the town-owned property compared to her property? Because she, I believe the enforcement order is because it keeps getting mowed on town property, which is within the resource area.
I'm just trying to read through this
Okay.
cease and desist real quick here.
Well, I have it up on the screen too. if
Oh,
anybody
okay, there
needs
you
to
go.
see it. I think this is the letter dated September 7, 22. It just says the second notice requiring you cease and desist from any vegetation removal, including mowing, within the town-owned parcel. The areas within the wetland resource area or within the no disturb buffer zone to the wetland resource area. Provides important functions of stabilizing the bank and beach area and providing a wildlife habitat. I think attached is a aerial photograph showing I think that this is the town-owned property.
Yep.
Here, right along the waterfront, and this is the adjacent parcel where the violation is.
Did we recently, or in the last few years, did we have something, was there something about Phragmites control?
That was off to the lower part where her
lower
hand
side.
is, yeah, the lower part there. That was the abutting property. And they were,
Is the path here?
the path is there. The abutting property was going to do Phragmite control, and they suggested doing it on the town-owned property also.
That's
Right, we approved that.
Yeah,
This
we
is where the
approved that.
boats- There
And
was
then there was
an
an
ongoing
issue.
boat storage conversation
Yeah,
as well.
ongoing boat storage. Somebody asked if they could store their boats there. So that's another issue that we've been dealing with natural
Okay.
resources with.
So this is all that same thing. Okay.
But I think just the violation notice that Brittany sent was regarding this vegetation removal.
So I'm not quite sure what.
Still doing it?
This letter isn't really telling them to do anything other than to cease and desist from the cutting, right? That's how everybody else reads
Yeah, I
it.
think they were also going to plant something or put something there, stones or something there to delineate.
Okay.
And Ms. Smith has her hand raised.
So
when You're ready.
Pam, so you understand that there's not supposed to be cutting. It was your landscaper who was doing the cutting?
That's correct. Since I got the first letter from Kelly Grant, I have been the person mowing the lawn. It has not been mowed for 1.5 years. The landscaper came to plant some trees and thought he was doing a kindness. It was done without my knowledge, without my consent. And I am perfectly in line with restoring that to salt marsh and the conditions that make the birds and all the things that you people want to.
Okay. So
No problem, no mowing will happen again, I've told him.
okay, so I think what I'd like to do then is just if we could just have you present to Brittany some sort of a planting sketch plan that shows where what kind of plants you're going to be planting and where you're going to be planting them.
I'm not planning on planting anything yet.
No. Yeah, at this point, it's going to be very difficult for you to find a lot of stock to plant in the first place.
One would think.
But yeah, this would, so I would, this is the way I would envision it would be you should speak to Brittany, talk about the different kinds of plants that would be likely to do well there.
I can tell you what I'd like to put if you wish. I'd
Okay.
like to put beach plums and beach roses.
Okay. So what we would need to see then is some sort of a sketch plan that
Sure.
shows, where you're going to plant them, the size of the plants, that sort of thing, where you're going to plant them. And then we would probably have, we'll give you until probably May 31st to get everything into the ground once Brittany approves it, okay? So I wouldn't, don't do anything until Brittany says, okay, this plan is good. Then you can go ahead and order your plants for the spring and get them in. And like I said, we'll give you until May 31st to get that done. Does that sound reasonable?
Of course.
Okay. Is there any further discussion among the board on this?
Can I ask a question? Just, I want to make sure I understand the next steps. So the next steps are just procedurally to have Ms. Smith speak with Brittany, show kind of a little sketch plan of sorts describing what she'd like to do.
Right.
Does she need to come back to the commission?
No, with something like this, I would say I'm fine with Brittany
Okay,
signing
great.
off on that.
Super.
Brittany's got
I just
more
want to
than
make sure I
enough
have that
experience.
right.
I do have a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm not sure if it's correct. Last summer, there was a sign on the beach, on the marsh, which should be salt marsh, that said environmentally sensitive area, no boats, no walking. This summer, there is no sign. There are boats. There is a boat, it's gone now, on the property. And the marsh won't grow back if you put the boats there and the people walk on it. Will it?
So I think we have some ongoing issues that we're trying to resolve in terms of enforcement with that as well. That's an ongoing and in the works type issue that we're trying to deal with. So yes, you are correct. You can't be leaving stuff on a marsh because that's certainly not going to help it grow or allow it to grow at all.
Correct.
So yeah, so we are aware of it and we are working on trying to deal with the parties responsible for that as well. So,
Well, if I can help in any way, in as much as I'm the person that looks at it 24/7, I will be more than happy to do so. And please, I invite you to come and look at this spot. It's a special spot.
okay, thank you. We will definitely take you up on that. And, you know, we will continue to pursue it. So,
Thank you.
all right. So we will get, we'll wait for Brittany to come back and then we'll get her to maybe give it a week or so, a little bit more than a week, and then just give her a call and you can start thinking about putting together that sketch, the planting sketch, and discuss things with her. And once Brittany signs off on it, then you're ready to go. Okay?
Understood. Thank you very much. Thank you for your work.
Thank you. So would somebody like to make a motion just to allow Brittany to go ahead with the approval of the planting sketch plan and then have the deadline for planting of May 31st, 2023.
So moved.
Second, Tom.
Okay, is there all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously. Okay. Let's see, next order of business, approval of meeting minutes, September 15th, 2022. I think, David, you
I
had,
have one small correction on number 5, 48 Grandview Drive. The vote was 6-1, not 7-0.
That's true.
It is true. Those are my notes.
all right, so do I have a motion to approve the minutes of September 15th, 2022 with the stated correction?
Enthusiastically, aye.
Enthusiastically, yes, and do I have an enthusiastic second?
Second.
Beat that.
Doesn't sound too enthusiastic, but
Who seconded?
Paul?
I was just reading that when you said, and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't vote for that. I did not vote for that.
I'm right there to protect you.
Uh-huh.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. Any other business not reasonably anticipated?
I can update the commission on one little item if you'd like. I wanted to let everybody know so with the departure of Heidi, we've been looking at the office and we've put together, Brittany and I, a job description, which is a full-time or part-time, seeing what we get. We've titled it Conservation Technician, and it's really a combination of some field duties and the administrative duties. And so I'll be going to the Personnel Board next week to have them review the position and go from there. So hopefully we'll get they'll rate the position in one meeting and that we can move forward. I may need to go, I think I do need to go to the Board of Selectmen because it would be a new full-time position. So I will keep you posted because I know it's an important, I know firsthand now how important it is to have support in that office. And, and I know you all do too. So if we do go to the selectmen, it'd be nice to have your support.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something we should do to support?
I would say,
With the
I think
selectmen?
we'll have time for another meeting and I'll shoot out, it'd be nice to give you the job description. I didn't want to give it to you without it being kind of reviewed by the Personnel Board first.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know when the next selectmen's meeting is, October 18th, but I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
And even if someone wanted to show up and speak in favor or send a letter on your own, that would be great.
Yeah, just let us know.
I will.
My only comment is like if you're going with the idea with a full time, then I mean I guess it's all semantics, but I would just call it conservation agent because isn't that what they're assisting in office and procedural stuff, but they're also working with
Versus the
Right.
administrator?
versus
mean,
administrator.
Brittany's job description is conservation administrator.
Administrator. And then this person, if it's a full-time position, would be called conservation agent, which is typical. I mean, that's typical of
Okay.
what most.
No,
most
that's great
commissions do.
feedback. That's great
Yeah, 'cause
feedback.
I think it would just, I think it would help in making it more attractive to
Advertising,
people
yep.
for applying.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Thank you on that update.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
I will not be here at the next meeting.
Just the next one, David?
Just the next one. Unless I fall in love with Hawaii and never come back.
How could you do that?
All right. If nothing else, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Uh,
That's 7,
Thank you, Pat.
6:33.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carries unanimous. We stand adjourned at 6:32.